What specific advantages does the Model Context Protocol offer .NET developers?
To me, MCP, Model Context Protocol, is a very new technology or AI tool for everybody, especially for developers focused on .NET developers. The MCP gives .NET developers like a standardized and open protocol for developers to build applications on .NET and connect AI models or integrate their existing data resources or databases and APIs and services without doing the hassles of or the long time frame or time span of doing integration on the side. So basically, MCP helps developers to have this protocol inject or integrate it directly into the apps to talk to AI without a lot of like time consuming integration between the apps. And then he has also support for like C sharp libraries or C sharp language, of course. SDK, which is available for like everybody. So there's in .NET at least, I know there's Model Context Protocol that .NET developers can talk to in their code. And the good thing about MCP server or MCP itself and building with it is that it is model agnostic, meaning that it doesn't need to like work on a specific like AI model. You can work with it with like Chat GPT, with Copilot, and other models such as with Anthropic, the Cloud Code, and Gemini. So as long as they allow you to talk with it through programming, then it should be good. And then one good thing that it has as one of its advantages is that your business logic that you code within your .NET source code is within it, like it stays there, and then the AI layer is also well defined separately. So there is a separation of concerns, which is very very good. Gives the flexibility as well.
Where do you see the greatest potential for its use in Azure environments?
For sure, there are a lot of great potential, of course, in using MCP. I know MCP is like they called it as like the USB-C plug that you can inject in your .NET application, and then you can talk to different MCP servers. So there are MCP servers today like Playwright, Microsoft Learn, there's GitHub, and so much more. I mean, I think companies and other tools are building their own MCPs, but the best opportunity that I can see is that you can build your own, of course. And in order to build your own MCP server that you can integrate and build AI for your existing data or databases or services, you need a good tool for that or a good technology. And one of the potential that I do see is making use of Azure Functions in .NET. So I believe in one of the sessions I had in DWX, I did share about Azure Functions a lot. And I know that there is a new extension for Azure Functions that's called Azure Functions MCP Tool Trigger, and it recently went on GA that allows developers to kind of build MCP, their own MCP servers, and use it as backend APIs using this trigger or extension. And aside from that, I do see a potential of utilizing Azure Durable Functions, which is the extension of the standard function itself. It allows developers to build orchestrations or different patterns of orchestrations for stateful workflows. And that's very good if you have multiple agents, AI agents, or tasks that needs to run in parallel or in patterns such as like fan out, fan in, do stuff all together and get the result. And then also the capability, at least I'm focused on Azure, is the capability to also build MCP servers with Azure Functions host trigger. and also integrating it with API management. So if you take a look at the recent features of Azure API management, where you have the management for the backend APIs, there's a support for MCP for that as well. So it's a good combination. So Azure Functions, MCP tools extension, the one GA, durable functions, and also Azure API management integration with MCP on the cloud. So .NET and the cloud on Azure.
Could you please name 3 use cases where MCP can help?
MCP is a new technology that I believe, to be honest, also as a developer, are still adapting and learning a lot. But a few use cases that I believe MCP can be very useful in terms of building applications focused on Azure and building with AI models is first, generally it makes your services or application be into AI callable tools without too much hassles or complexity. So number one that I could think of is that number one is you can use it as an MCP as an enterprise knowledge base, meaning you can utilize Azure AI services, index as MCP tools, and then you can retrieve those logics that you have from an AI model or other AI agents. Another one is like using it as a DevOps AI assistant. So for Azure, for example, with consideration, you already have a .NET app, and then you have DevOps, the CI/CD pipelines for that. You can use MCP tool or MCP itself as a protocol in building an AI-powered DevOps assistance. What you can do is you can use, like for example, query Azure Monitor to get those logs or maybe trigger your CI/CD pipelines. And then you can also utilize some AI models if needed, depending on the use case, of course. And then the third one is it is also very good to use MCP as a possible use case. I'm telling you that it's a possible use case. It always depends on the specific kind that you're trying to solve. But it is also a good idea to try to utilize MCP as an automated IT support agent. So I think we see it in websites today. There's like customer service where you can chat in a chat booth with pretending or assuming the role of customer agent. But in the IT systems, in .NET applications, for example, you can use MCP and build your own to handle tickets for certain issues or support queries within your applications. So with the help of the tools that I shared in the previous questions, like using Azure Functions with MCP host tool, trigger, as well as API management, I think I do see a capability at least to achieve the IT support kind of automated using AI or MCP. So I think those are at least the top 3 use cases that I can think of, and for sure there's gonna be more as this technology continues to evolve and matured and tested.